So, Worlds just happened. So when we were at the hotel, A-Team noticed that their bot was a little messed up from shipping, but they didn't think it was too bad, so they did what they could and didn't worry about it. So after inspection, A-Team went to the practice field, and this is where they realized just how bad the damage was. I'll let Jace explain the rest.
We're back from the practice field, and we noticed some things wrong with our robot. Our entire drivetrain was squished and bent and twisted. So we had to loosen a lot of things up and try to remove some friction. So it's a little bit better, but it's still more friction than normal. Another thing, when we tried to hang, our hang just kept popping out like this and stuff, and that was bad. As well as when we hooked it up to the pole and attempted to climb, it just didn't go up at all. Yeah, so we have to take it. We have to take our hang off.
A few moments later.
And after that, they decided to buy new wheels and motors so they could rebuild basically the entire drivetrain. And believe me, they were absolutely speedrunning building. And after 4 hours straight of building, they were just barely able to make it to the practice match they had. The crazy part is that they were missing an entire wheel during the match and still won. And B-Team also had their share of problems.
So we found out our hang is not balanced. It's leaning forward a lot now when it's clamped down. And we're also trying to get an A-tier setup with this thingy. That's currently the plan. We'll see how that goes.
Now on to matches. In the beginning, B-Team bowls to introduce more tri-balls to the field, and we get an early lead. Then they start single loading for a lower risk since they had a lead. They start stacking tri-balls in the lane, but it didn't really work. After that, they accidentally double zone and get descored. They quickly back up and rescore. Our alliance gets stuck on the middle bar, and we help them off and get hang. We ended up winning 120 to 53. On to A-Team's first match. They score the beginning tri-balls, and then they start the single loading process. After that, they double zone for a while, and the other alliance realizes it and he scores a couple balls. And then our teammate scored 2 tri-balls for the opponent. We bowl because we have to outpace the other alliance, and then try to defend, but they put out their wings and block us, a technique called pin bowling. And they end up getting 4 free tri-balls with this. Then later they do the same thing again. Our alliance tries to hang, but they only had 4 seconds, so there wasn't really a chance. We ended up losing that match, so not off to a good start for A-Team. In the beginning of this match, B-Team has to try and defend 2 different bots while our alliance struggles to score. After that, B-Team starts single loading. They get trapped by the other alliance, but then keep single loading. Not much else happened during that match, so skipping to hang. We get hang off, but had significantly less tri-balls than the other alliance, and so we lost 75 to 120. A-Team scores the first tri-balls and then does some defense. Then they contest the alley and lose some tri-balls. One of the blue bots got stuck on the barrier, leaving our alliance to slowly use their hang unobstructed. We ended up winning 117 to 74. On to B-Team's match. We scored a lot of tri-balls in the beginning, and then we went to single load. We had an early lead by this point, so we started playing a little more defensive. We also get pinned into the pole, but we eventually got off and defended again. We go to bowl 2 tri-balls, but opt for a trade, but after that we do score a couple tri-balls. Then we go for hang. Neither of us got hang, and we ended up with a final score of 118 to 47 us. At first, we steal some of the other team's tri-balls and get an early point lead. Then we bowled 2 tri-balls, but the other team defended the tunnel. After that, we start just single loading, and so does our alliance. But then, with only a couple of seconds left, we get descored. We ended up getting hang, and the opponents did not, so it was a close match, but we lost 84 to 98. At first, we steal some of the opponent's tri-balls, and our alliance scores them. Then we single load. Our alliance gets disconnected 30 seconds into the match, which is not very good. Then the other team takes advantage of this opportunity and bowls a ton of tri-balls into their goal. We try to score as much as we can and then go for hang, which we miss. We ended up winning 74 to 68. In A-Team's next match, we get cyberbullied at the start, and the other bot slips past and scores a lot of tri-balls. After that, we go to defend and single load at the same time. At this point, Red Team has so much tri-ball advantage, it's not really looking good. We try to catch up, but they can prioritize defending, so we can't do much. Our bot gets disconnected and we don't get any hang down. We ended up getting steamrolled 50 to 138. This match is against Ace, and B-Team really wants to beat them. Right at the start, we accidentally put out our hang thing, which can't be retracted, so we're just stuck with a wing out for the rest of the game. Our alliance also immediately got stuck on the barrier, so things were not looking good. They get off after a while, but it's enough time for blue alliance to get a point lead. We play defense when we can, but mainly focus on scoring. We then go for hang, but sadly miss it, probably because of the wing. We ended up losing 74 to 128. We did the usual scoring in the beginning of the match, then we stopped the other team from bowling and steal most of the tri-balls. Then we got descored, and our alliance was trying to rescore the triballs, but the other bot was still in the goal, so they technically illegally descored. They also shoved the bot back into the goal after that happened. Then we got flipped by the other team. They take huge advantage of this and bowl a ton before the match finishes. We ended up winning 118 to 78. We got an early point lead at the start of this match and start single loading while our alliance bowls. We know we can outpace our opponents, so we don't worry too much about defense. We end up getting caught on another bot, but struggle off. The other alliance starts match loading, which we quickly shift to defense and steal some of the triballs. They match load again, but there isn't enough time for them to score the triballs. Also, a funny thing to note is their alliance blocked them from going and scoring the triballs by match loading. We end up getting both hangs and a win 139 to 83. At the start, both teams bowl a lot of triballs into the alleys and goals. They also tried to take out the announcer with a triball, but it didn't work out. We mostly just single load and defend like our alliance until it was time to hang. Our alliance got a super high hang, but we missed our hang. We ended up winning 115 to 104. At the start, the other team goes to bowl lots of triballs, so we have to go and defend. We end up getting some in the neutral zone, but they score a couple of triballs. Then we start single loading triballs and accidentally double possess. Meanwhile, in the other alley, the bots are just slowly pushing each other. Every time the opponent bowls, we just push the triballs into the neutral zone, so by now there's 5. Then we go for hang, and we both get it with a final score of 123 to 65 us. We scored a few triballs at the beginning of this match, and then we go to defend and steal triballs from the other side. Then we single load. Our alliance match loads, which is a mistake because most of the triballs just get stolen. This led things to become pretty even, but after the other alliance bowled 4 triballs, we fell behind. We don't get hang, and the other alliance does. We end up losing 100 to 102. Literally 2 points. We get an early lead at the start, scoring the triballs on the field. We also steal a couple from the opponent's side. We single load and get pushed over to our own goal. We are careful not to double zone because the other team has a pancake bot, but we mess up and they descore. Thankfully, it's easy to rescore the triballs, but in doing so we double zone again and they descore again. This time it was not as easy to rescore and they did steal a couple, but our alliance bowls a monstrous amount of triballs and things are okay. We go for hang and get it, winning 112 to 82. We score a lot of triballs in the beginning and get an early lead, and then we play some defense. Then we bowl, and at this point the match is pretty even. Then we do some more defense and bowl again. And while we do this, the other team's bot flips, but later they are flipped back up by our teammate. There was some indecision whether to hang or score triballs, so we didn't get hang, but our teammates did. We ended up winning 134 to 118. In the beginning we get pinned and don't do much. Then we steal a triball from the other bot and score it. They're offended by this and steal a triball back. We get pushed again, this time getting us stuck on the bar and a triball, which sucks, but they don't really take advantage of it, and we end up getting helped off. After that, we get our hang at the last second. We ended up losing 67 to 103. So our goal this match was completely broken and wouldn't even keep the triballs in. We tried to score as much as we could, but the triballs would just roll right out. So we spent a lot of time rescoring triballs that we already scored, which could have been time spent scoring new triballs. The other alliance also would steal some of the triballs that rolled out of our goal, which is pretty funny. We didn't get any hangs, but the red alliance does. So after this match, there was a big argument with the refs, not about the triballs rolling out of the goal, but about DQs. They ended up deciding that our teammates got DQ'd, but also one bot on the other team got DQ'd, so the teams that didn't get DQ'd got the win. So we ended up technically winning. At the start of this match, we bowl triballs down the alley, but they accidentally give up the majority of them. Our alliance partner gets the triball stolen, and we go to single load triballs. We start single loading and get caught on the other team's bot. During this, we almost flip, but we survive. But afterwards, our bot disconnects and we don't get our hang. We ended up losing 65 to 147. So that's all the qualifier matches done. Now we just have to hope we get picked as an alliance because we didn't end up with the best standings in quals. We crossed our fingers as they went down the list reading the alliances. Over at design booth, they had gotten through all the alliances and a team wasn't picked. Over at research, things were not looking good, but suddenly this happened.
89040B.
8904B, here comes a team
They
representative.
seem excited. Will they accept? They accepted.
B team was picked by the Jesters, which was a complete surprise because they didn't try to convince them beforehand. They must have just liked how they played in the last match. Suddenly B team was excited. They could win their division. They just might win Worlds. And then they got demolished in their first elimination round, which was pretty devastating for B team, especially since it was most of the team members last year. They were really hoping to go off with a bang. But if there's one thing I've learned about this experience, it's that closing ceremony is crazy. Holy crap, high stakes is gonna be wild.